breaking developments out of the House committee investigating January 6th. The January 6th panel accuses Trump of insurrection and refers him to the Justice Department for criminal prosecution. Okay, now this is really interesting. So the New York Times is reporting here, says the committee also accused the former president of 3 other federal crimes, including conspiracy to defraud the United States. And it says 5 Trump allies were referred as well. So not just Trump himself, but 5 allies from within the Trump sphere. So really, really interesting. Now, the thing is, the committee will be disbanded next year, which is at the time of making this video in about 11 days or so less than 2 weeks. Once the Republicans take control of the House beginning in early January, this committee is dissolved. And so literally the committee waited to the last minute to actually issue its recommendations to criminally prosecute Donald Trump. And I think that could have been because of the midterm elections that were last month, and so the Democrats perhaps fearing that by the committee issuing these criminal recommendations to the Justice Department, this could be seen as overly political. It could energize Trump's base and result in Trump receiving greater support amongst his base and those that are more sympathetic towards him. As you saw, there was a spike in the polls going back to when the FBI raided his home at Mar-a-Lago, and because he had all of those documents that he wasn't supposed to take from the White House in the first place, but did. After that FBI raid, there was a surge in Trump's popularity because his base was sort of sympathetic of the FBI encroaching on Trump's freedoms and all this other nonsense, which wasn't true. He wasn't supposed to take these top secret government documents in the first place. And so it appears that finally the Justice Department is formally going to be criminally investigating Donald Trump should they take up the referral from the January 6th panel. So we'll have to wait and see how that develops. And now let's continue looking here. It says the criminal referrals were a major escalation for a congressional investigation that is the most significant in a generation. The panel named 5 other Trump allies: Mark Meadows, his final chief of staff, the lawyers Rudolph Giuliani, John Eastman, Jeffrey Clark, and Kenneth Chesborough as potential co-conspirators with Mr. Trump in actions the committee said warranted Justice Department investigation. So it says the committee's referrals do not carry legal weight or compel any action by the Justice Department, which is conducting its own investigation into January 6th and the actions of Mr. Trump and his allies. Sure, it's not legally binding, but it does compound it. You have the Justice Department already investigating whether any criminality was engaged in. Which, if the Justice Department doesn't find criminality here, well, why do we have a Justice Department in the first place? But this recommendation further compounds that because it is another authoritative source, this House committee, saying that, hey, our investigation has shown that there were criminal actions committed by Trump and his fellow associates. So we'll have to wait to see how this continues to develop. But as things stand, Trump has been referred. The House panel has referred Trump to the Justice Department's investigative committee to see if there's any criminality that has been committed, which is good. Hopefully, the Justice Department will indict Trump on criminal acts, as it should, because as the evidence has shown, Trump has committed criminal acts here. But we'll have to wait and see. If you want to stay updated on breaking news around the world, please consider liking and subscribing.